I'm Nick Armstrong, and this is the Founded in FoCo podcast, which is presented in visual form today as we talk with the founders of the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit. And I'm so grateful that we have all made it sort of on the other side of COVID and can be here to talk again. So Alison and Amanda, I'd love to have you introduce yourselves and let us know what you've been up to since we last talked, which is last year. That was actually one of our last episodes of the podcast. It sort of tapered off a bit there. So you'll be jumping back in with a new perspective, hopefully.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So, well, thanks first. I just want to say, Nick, for having us back here. And certainly I'm a big fan of Fort Collins Startup Week and all the things related to it. So my name's Alison Proffit. I'm based here in Fort Collins, Colorado, and my business is Proffit Coach. I've definitely had some evolution in my own business since we last talked, moving away from just specifically sales coaching, which really is a lot of what I was doing in 2020, and doing more what I call holistic business coaching. So it's integrating life and business coaching with a lot of training and consulting around the topics of sales, marketing, and operations. I've really honed in on the tagline that joy is the best business strategy, following the principle of how important it is to follow the KISS method, which is keep it soulfully simple in our world here as soulful entrepreneurs. We don't want to call anybody stupid. And I'm just really, really excited to be here and share more about the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit. And can't wait to let Amanda give a little insight into her. And we're just excited to share more about the event and how it's progressed since last year.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, I am so great. We are definitely grateful, and thank you, Nick, for bringing us back on. So my name is Amandamundo, and my business is called Social Hero Brands. And as Alison stated, her business has evolved since last year. I'm currently going through what I like to call a soulful realignment with my business this year, going into 2022. And so what my business is really about is what your digital footprint look like online. What does the customer experience really look like online? And so that business model is going to be changing a bit, and I'm going through that soulful realignment currently. So we'll see what that looks like in 2022. But one thing I do know is this summit, and oh my gosh, Alison and I have worked so hard. Alison has been just really forging forward as I've been going through this transition for both of us. So it's been a wonderful ride, and I'm excited to really get into the conversation about the summit and what your audience can really expect if they want to join us.
So this is the second year that the summit has come around, and it's going to be January 24th through 28th. It's virtual, I'm assuming?
That's right. Yes, all through virtual, but it'll be very engaging. We'll be leveraging breakout rooms and bringing fun and music and lots of different breaks so that you don't get Zoom fatigue, because that's a real thing. So yeah, virtually.
How many speakers can we look forward to this year?
So all together with our live summit, which is that week you mentioned, and we also have a couple of pre-summit events happening as well. So with everybody combined, we've got about 40 contributors, and they're from all over the US with various amounts of experience. Some of them are coaches, some of them are consultants, and we're just really, really honored to see who showed up this year. We were blown away last year as to who applied to be a contributing person to this event last year. And this year, it's just like, oh my gosh, we're doing this again. So it feels like a movement that we're creating here.
It's an interesting thing to create your own event from scratch and, not borrow a template from like TEDx or wherever else, building it on your own. You really have a lot of freedom, but then you realize you have a lot of freedom. And so it's really tricky to get that right mix. I'm curious, what are some of the lessons that you learned from last time to now? Is there something that's changed that made it easier to do or more fun or better for the attendees and for you as an organizer?
So the things that we definitely took from last year is you can always make it better as you go along, and that it's really important to do your best the first time. I mean, we really put our all into it, and we actually had a great result. Was everything that we wanted to do, were we able to succeed in all of them? No, but you know what? We were able to build for the next year. And so I would say one thing to think about is you have to start somewhere. If you want to put on a summit, if you want to put on an event, you have to start somewhere and know that you can grow. And, and that's what being soulfully simple is. You know what? If you can't get to all the things you wanted to do, it's okay. You can build on to that next time, and then you can just continue growing. And that's what we've noticed as we've gone through. And another thing that we truly, truly noticed was that the moments, the organic moments that happen, you let those things happen. And that was phenomenal. So that was something that we are looking forward to. Both of us are looking forward to for this coming year. Alison?
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to really highlight that part about the moments. A lot of people, when they sign up for events like this, are always like, is there going to be recordings? And our all access pass holders can get access to recordings. But honestly, like, the most powerful moments are the ones that were unscripted and happened live. And because it's a really engaging and interactive experience, it's not just a bunch of talking heads teaching. We really curate our panelists and speakers to make sure that they're going to be very interactive and very engaging. And so what I would like to say that we learned from last year is we had some run of show documents that really outlined our schedule, and we kept really closely to the schedule that we created. But we actually this year did an even more intentional job of creating space in the schedule to allow those organic moments to unfold. And I just remember, even for myself as the person that was running it, there were moments where I popped myself off camera because it was very emotionally overwhelming because these are soulful entrepreneurs. So there were just some very personal moments of vulnerability that people were sharing, and just feedback that people were sharing. And I remember there were people that were like, I can't believe I'm crying at this event. I mean, it was not just teaching, it was growth, and it was inspiration, and it was connection. And I think that was the part that surprised me so much from last year, that I'm really excited about being a part of, kind of just holding the container for those connections to happen. And some of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we kept was the pillars. So the summit, just to kind of share a little bit about like, what is this event? We really wanted to stay with that structure because it worked really well. So day one is about soulful mindset. That's also where we have our opening comments. Day two is about soulful time and money. So it's really about like feeling good about your prices, understanding how to have great sales conversations. How do you spend your time? And then just the money stuff, right? Like, we tend to shy away from money conversations, but we can't as small business owners. Like, money is the thing that keeps our machine going. It's like the oxygen that keeps our business alive. So I'm really excited about some of the money conversations that are going to be happening. Day three is about soulful messaging. So it's like bringing your branding into it, bringing your authenticity into your marketing. So often people get afraid of being too personal and sharing too much of themselves and their story in their marketing. I know marketing is totally your jam, Nick, but really kind of bringing your feeling safe and secure and confident around sharing your story in your messaging and in your brand. And then day four is about soulful community. And so this year, we're actually bringing in some live networking events that are going to happen for our limited pass holders, which we kind of reserved that for all access pass holders last year. But this is about being soulful. So we were like, you know what, let's just find those opportunities. Let's shift some things around so we can create some of that space. And then day five is about holistic success. And that's like bringing it all together and wrapping it into a bow. You said like, who do I want to highlight? I mean, I don't know, my gosh, like everybody is so amazing. And in the process of creating our marketing, we've really had opportunities, both Amanda, myself, and then we have a guest moderator. Her name is Jenny Wiley. She's not here in this conversation today, but she's another amazing business owner and coach. And I mean, they're all just so powerful. And some of them are people that either Amanda and I have had previous interactions with, and some of them are just people that kind of came out of the woodwork. One of our panelists who then turned into one of our sponsors for the event, I'll kind of name drop him because he's been really helpful. His name's Ed Troxel, and he does a lot of stuff with like Facebook Live, and not just Facebook video, but just like video, bringing video content into your business. And it's just been really cool to see these small business owners who have never met us before fell in love with this idea about the soulful entrepreneurship being this movement. Met Amanda and I were like, how can I help you more? And last year we did some paid sponsorship opportunities. And this year we've done more in-kind sponsorship. So people that are like, I want to put my blood, sweat, and tears behind this thing. How can I do that? How can I use my gifts? And I think it's just such a beautiful thing that's been evolving. It's very different from last year, but also very similar. The magic is definitely there.
No, it's such an odd thing to sort of start a conversation about an event by not talking about what the participants will get out of it, right? Because that's what everybody does. Everybody talks about, oh, you should go to this because you've got all of these great things. Here's a checklist of all the amazing things you'll be able to do in your business. But
yeah,
to really showcase the work that you and Amanda have done across this year in both events, to put together something that's really valuable, a community that has come forth out of this event, is what I really wanted to highlight, because I don't think that there's so many different events out there that you can spend your time on, and especially in Zoom and whatever else, right? You're going to get Zoom fatigue. Great. But being part of an engaged community in this way, the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit allows you to do, is something that's truly unique. And so I hope you forgive me for, burying the lead a little bit, but I think it's such a great thing to see event organizers who truly care about their business community in this way. And I know that many of us get tearful when we talk about money. And so maybe let's talk about, for the uninitiated, what a soulful entrepreneur is, and how you know if this is a good fit for you and your business, so that you can properly invest your time in this or not.
Definitely. A soulful entrepreneur is, oh my gosh, it's like the embodiment of who we are and what we do. And we found when Alison and I met that we just clicked on a totally different level. It was more of seeing each other for who we were, and then seeing what we are offering and what our purpose, kind of bringing our purpose together. And I think a soulful entrepreneur is someone who is just driven by that gut instinct. They're driven by the purpose that they bring into the world. We have entrepreneurs, and probably more of something that is more of a traditional entrepreneur, someone who's like hustling and, they'll do whatever it takes to make the business work. They're going to, if they have to go and cross the street, 60 mile per hour traffic, they're going to go do that. And then they're going to bring someone with them to do that too. And it's like that salesy, pitch, or that just feeling like, oh my gosh, are they spamming me? What's going on? That yucky feeling. We're not about, we're about doing the right thing. We're about laying our heads down at night and feeling good about what we've done. You know what? Maybe we didn't hit our goal this year, and that may have not happened, but you know what? We did it from a place of love. We did it from a heart-centered place. And we knew that we were driving everything that we did from a good place, so that we can't go back and regret doing something to someone else or to ourselves. And so if that resonates with you, with your audience or someone who's listening, then the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit is definitely for you. This is a place where you can still be yourself, where you don't have to be something other than you, where you're cherished and loved for being who you are, and then going out there to make a difference in the world.
It's sort of like having to pick your favorite child, which is not really the best thing to do, at least in a public forum. But Amanda, do you have a highlight or a particular speaker that you are super excited for?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. Okay. So if any of our speakers are listening, this is really, really hard. But there is one that I truly like. I'm excited to hear her speak. She's actually our closing keynote, Christine Walsh. Oh, Christine, she and I kind of, well, actually, Alison and I also share the love for music. And one day on Facebook, Christine posted this video of her at I think she was, I don't know if she was doing a presentation because it didn't look like a karaoke place. Like it looked like she was up there maybe doing maybe doing a presentation or something, but she was on stage and she just starts singing and dancing and showing her soulful side, showing what she loves to do and bringing it into her business. Like courage and bravery and stepping out to being yourself. And she's amazing. She talks about finance, like, and she's singing on stage. No one puts those two things together. You know, we're talking about money and talking about, you know, and then singing and then doing all these wonderful things coming from a soulful place. It's like, I want to go there and I want to hear you speak because you're engaging to me. You're a human. You love things that I love. And please don't get me wrong. Christine is not the only one who does this. Like, our speakers and panelists, they are truly unique because they are who they are. They come on to this. And one person said, you know what, I feel like I'm going into an in-person event, even though it's virtual. I just feel like I'm going to go and show up and just, I'm excited to be there because that's what we're about. We're about, like Alison said, joy, fun. And I know Alison has so much to probably add to that, but it definitely, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll just kind of chime in, and it's so interesting. There's so many moments throughout this entire event and also leading up to the event that I actually have tears that spring to my eyes. And so when Amanda was sharing what she was sharing about, like, you know, like being able to lay our head down at night, just knowing that the way we showed up in the world was really aligned. Part of our marketing efforts that we do is we actually do a video spotlight interview with all of our speakers, and we actually ask them all this question: what does it mean to you to be a soulful entrepreneur? And so there's so many varied answers, but alignment, authenticity, and values driven is a very common theme. And I'd like to maybe, instead of sharing like what soulful entrepreneurship is to me, I'd love to share a little bit about like, how did we even land on this concept? And it really started from, I tried to start my business 4 other times and had kind of dismal success, right? I mean, when you start a business and then you're not doing that business anymore, it means you're not making money. Like, let's just be honest, right? And I really believe that what happened in those 4 other times is there was a lot of misalignment, and I was looking outside of myself for the answers of like, what's the best way to start a business? What's the fast track to success? What are the proven systems? You know, the 5 steps to doing this, and what funnels do I need to build? And all of these different things that, you know, kind of felt very traditional in the approach to business. And my background being in HR, like setting goals and SMART goals and having, you know, step goals to get to the big goals and measuring all the things with analytics and all of those things, like very, you know, very linear, very hard, very traditional. That's kind of how I feel like I tried to start my other businesses. So when I started Proffit Coach, I just was at a point where I was exhausted by life. I had a lot of things that had happened in that time period. And I share more of my journey through the event, but I was like, you know, I'm just going to do it my way. And I'm going to put faith into the fact that like, everything's going to unfold exactly as it's meant to. And I think for me, being a soulful entrepreneur, it includes radical self-acceptance, giving yourself permission that like your way of doing business is going to be great for you. But that takes faith to walk in that, right? And like having faith that like the people that you're supposed to bump into that are going to give you the idea, the revelation of like, oh my gosh, like I know what I want to be doing in this area of my business. I know that I want to get better at managing my money. Oh my gosh, like there's not just QuickBooks, there's like lots of other tools. I think a lot of times we can get very distracted, especially when it does come to those very tangible things like our systems, right? And like what CRM are you using and what bookkeeping system are you using? And some of those different tactical things can feel very head driven, and we make those decisions from a very logical, rational place, but it doesn't have to be that way. And I really think that like giving yourself permission that you're right on track, and also not gripping tightly, but kind of keeping your hands open and allowing it all to evolve. Because just like Amanda said, she's going through a soulful realignment with her business. She's opening her hands and allowing that journey to happen. And the faster we can shorten the time frame from being like this, because we are all like this. This is like we all get here, right? To this place where we're just holding on and we're gripping it, we're wanting to control it. But the faster we can shorten that cycle of like, I want to be in control, I want to have a plan, to I'm going to allow this all to unfold, and I'm going to accept the fact that my way might actually be the best way for me. To highlight who I am really, really excited about, it's actually a person that really helped me give myself permission, is this is like the bookend of it, right? Is actually our opening keynote speaker. So his name is Mark Shaw, and he was one of the trainers actually that I got to be trained under in my coaching certification program. And that was back in 2016. And I got to work with him as my coach this year. And he gave me so much permission. And it's interesting. One of the things that I was really struggling with is, as my business was almost 2 years old, I was in this place of feeling like I'm supposed to have a plan and it's supposed to be super organized, and all these like number driven goals, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like that's what successful people do. And all this time of Proffit Coach and running Soulful Entrepreneur Summit, I mean, I really lean into my intuition to make my plan. And when I do that, it often unfolds beautifully. And so he kind of asked me, is like, what's the deal with this planning goal that you keep setting and not honoring? And he's like, why is that a goal on your thing? I was like, well, because I feel like I'm supposed to if I'm going to be successful. And he was like, well, what have you been doing all along? And it's like, I've been using my intuition. He's like, well, why wouldn't you just keep doing what's been working well for you? And so I'm just really, really excited for other people to experience his energy and his presence and his wisdom, and also just very personally impacted by the fact that he was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm excited to be your opening keynote speaker, right? Like we both feel mutually honored. And so I'm just really, really excited about maybe him helping somebody else give themselves permission and embracing radical self-acceptance as a part of their own soulful entrepreneur journey.
So where can folks go to learn more about the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit?
Yeah, the best place is to go to getsoulfulsuccess.com. And if you're feeling like you're not sure if you want to even invest dollars in this, we do have a free limited access pass. Just go do that right now. Because once you register for your ticket, you will get access to the Soulful Entrepreneur community, which we run on a Mighty Networks community. So it's kind of like a Facebook group, but it's outside of the noisiness of social media. And we're really, really excited to have that community. So if nothing else, you're going to get access to other people like us, like the three of us here. Nick, I count you in as a soulful entrepreneur, right? I mean, like the fact that we ran into each other, you're like, you're doing the summit again. Like, I want to talk to you and share more with all the people about it. I mean, that's just such a soulful kind of place of operating. And so getsoulfulsuccess.com is the website. Go to the ticket page, just grab your free ticket. If you want to upgrade later, you can. And then once you're in the Soulful Entrepreneur community, you'll have more insight into all the other cool, amazing things that are happening leading up to and during the event. And plus, you don't have to wait until January to engage with the people. We're starting that engagement right now, like it's actually happening. So get in there and don't wait.
If you could tell an attendee one thing that you wish that they would know going in, if they're a newbie to this and they should do one thing, what would it be? Amanda, let's start with you.
One thing, if they were to, like, my advice, sorry, one more time, I didn't understand the question.
Don't edit this. This is real.
Let's just, yeah, this is a soulful moment in the podcast. Let me start again, but better. If you could tell an attendee one thing, or a potential attendee, one thing that they should do going into the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit, what would it be?
It would be come in open, open with your heart and open with your mind. Come in to be filled up. Just come in and just experience, and maybe bring some tissue. That would be my advice.
Especially for the section on QuickBooks.
Yeah.
We actually
Alison,
bring
how
a lot
about you?
we actually bring a lot of love and joy into the money conversation. So that's not where the tissues come into play. Although there is, definitely some tears that get shed on money day. I mean, gosh, Amanda sort of swiped the answers, but yeah, I mean, come in, just come. Like, if you're listening to this, it's not an accident. We very much believe in synchronicity. In fact, we have some amazing live entertainment that is so powerful. We got a preview of this group yesterday, and it was so impactful. I mean, just come in and be ready for transformation. And that's so interesting for me to be saying that, because that's not really even what I was expecting of, like, creating a space for like this kind of inspiring transformation. But it is what happened for the people that came who we had never met before, for our own clients that were there, and for ourselves personally. So come in, be open to transformation, or just come in and detach from the outcome of what the expectation is. Just know that if you're listening to this and you're feeling like, wow, like this seems kind of interesting and unique, you're supposed to come in. Don't doubt it. Just do it.
So if someone was listening and wanted to find out more about your individual businesses, Amanda, where would they go?
They would go to getsoulfulsuccess.com. Yes. They would go to getsoulfulsuccess.com, and they can actually find not only Alison and I, but Jenny Wiley, our co-moderator, as well as all of the speakers. You'll see their pictures and their businesses on the website. You really be able to get all of the information that you're looking for to learn more about what this Soulful Entrepreneur Summit is all about. And so you'll be able to see all of us there, and definitely connect with us. Grab your free ticket. Like Alison said, it's free, and come though. Commit to coming for that first day and see what it's all about. And if you are still thrilled and loving it, we'd love to see you every day of our summit, starting Monday, January 24th through the 28th.
And I think, Amanda's answer, because your question was more about our own individual businesses, but I think it's so funny how I'm more like, I don't care about Proffit Coach, like, come into this community. It'll either be me that you're interested in connecting with, or one of the other amazing humans. I mean, you can reach out to me at Proffit Coach is really where I am on all the social spaces, but it's like, I kind of like, my business gets put a little bit on the back shelf, because it's like, this is actually such a bigger part of my calling. And that sounds so weird to me, because we're telling you, like, just come and get free tickets. Like, we're not even making money on this, like, particular event, because it really is. It's like, we know that, like, all that abundance follows it. So Proffit Coach is where you can find me, but getsoulfulsuccess.com. That's really what we're hoping to connect with people through.
Because you'll be able to find us. You go to getsoulfulsuccess.com, get your free ticket, come into Mighty Networks, you'll find us. We'll be there. Believe me.
A generous answer rooted in abundance. And so I'm thankful that you're here today, Amanda and Alison, and I am glad that we got another chance to talk. And check out the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit, and it'll be the URLs in the show notes, and also appearing right here on screen as well. So come see what they're up to. It's a lot of fun, and wishing you nothing but success in 2022 and beyond. And go to hell COVID is really where we're at, right?
Yeah, that's right. Let's bring our soulful energy together and know that, like, through all that high vibration energy, like, powerful shifts will follow.
Amanda, Alison, thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you, Nick.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm Nick Armstrong, and this is a Founded in FoCo podcast. For more great interviews like this one, join us at foundedinfoco.com.